I'm back again. For those of you who are on Twitch and are still watching or like have rewatched, welcome back. And also welcome back YouTube, but it's been a little longer for you guys. For those people who are, this is where things got a little bit tricky. Okay, so for those of you who are on YouTube and were expecting a reading last night, that's going to be postponed until I'm going to try and get the video up tomorrow. It's just running a little bit late because this week has been, well, why don't I tell you what this week has been like? Plagued again by horrific migraines and just a culmination of likely flu and blah. And you're right, neither here nor there. Basically, what that meant was I had no production at all this week, and I didn't get a chance to get the video edited like I wanted to. So I do humbly apologize, YouTube, but I will definitely be getting the video out for tomorrow because that's what I'm going to be doing after I'm done here. Next thing up is editing video. Yes, I edit video that quickly. I mean, because I'm editing live video, basically all I'm doing is taking out the ums and ahs, and not even the ums and ahs. It's mostly just the long pauses, the drawn out pauses where I'm sitting just not saying anything for whatever reason. Possibly because I'm trying to figure out a word or whatever. Anyway, there's not much to edit in it. If I had my way, I'd be doing like very professional speaking, but I don't feel that my voice is such that it should be a high production value. That's for something else. I'd rather hire a professional narrator because I have a certain idea of how I'd want to have like the way my voice sounds. This is for me just to practice reading in front of people because that happens regardless. I just want to kind of put more of a spin on it, make it a little more interesting. So I want to try and be able to get intonations in there. It's slowly happening. It's not going to happen overnight. So I just have to keep on practicing at it, which means you lucky people get to hear stories, and you'll hear more of them as we go. And later on, you'll probably hear old stories that I've published after a long time. Anyway, so what am I here to talk about this week? I have no idea. I didn't really think about that before I turned on the camera. I did, like most times, I'll have at least an inkling or a clue, and then I usually lose that anyway. So really, it's not a big deal as to whether or not I have an idea or not, because I usually go off track. Even if I were to write it down on a piece of paper, I don't know. Maybe someday I will actually attempt to try and script out my vlog thing, but blog wouldn't really work so well when I'm doing that because this is more of a chatty, well, not even chatty, more of a rambly mess, really. Yeah. This is where I started trying to think about what I'm going to say, because I didn't actually bother to write it out or anything, because why would I do that? Because I could have a really great point. There are so many things that I did this week. Well, not this week, but last week, where I got through chapters. It's a long editing process, but it happens. I'm still putting up more books in different places, so that's happening too. I don't know. I mean, I guess part of what my problem is right now, because I'm doing the editing process, I'm not creating a new thing. I'm just working with the thing I already have. And so when I get to this point, sometimes it gets to be a bit of a struggle. But sometimes I can also find it kind of relaxing. It's half and half. I think no, it's not even that it's a struggle of that. It's more of a struggle that because I'm not creating anything new, I feel kind of annoyed that I'm not creating something new, because I feel part of me always feels like I should be working every day on building something new, which technically I am by editing. However, it's not the same as a sketch or a short story that I've just created, even though both those things have to be edited to some extent. And if you don't think that pictures and illustrations and artwork is edited, then guess what? They are. Especially if you're dealing with comics. Comics are edited a lot of times. So, yeah, which is something people may or may not know. But those are two similar things. I mean, I could talk about what I think about DC and Random House, but I don't know. No, because that's not even that's a topic that's here and gone. But I can talk about comics and books, and how for some reason people don't think they're similar. Like they're different media, because there's the illustration and there's the picture aspect to it. So there is a difference there. But the delivery system is the same, which always makes me so confused as to why. But the big difference is that with books, with novels, there are tons of different ways that they're distributed. Like, tons of distributors everywhere. But with comics, if you're not distributing them yourself, then there's really only Diamond, until what started happening now. And I think that's really interesting, because it didn't always used to be like that. There used to be able to like pick comics up at newsstands, and that was a thing. Like they weren't just in comic stores. They were everywhere. And then I can't even remember how it happened. But for some reason, comics all of a sudden just went to one distributor. And so it boggles my mind that like there are like there's the big three comics, but then there's also all these, like, there's tons of comic companies out there, and there's only one major distributor for all of these people. And I'm just, my mind, it doesn't make sense. And it never made sense to me at all. And so when I look at that, and I look at that versus novels and books, I just think to myself, why can't comics have what books have? And I think it's one of the reasons why I started trying to like see what I could do, how I can push my digitally created comics through different distributors that way, trying to go through like a novel route, as labeling them graphic novels so they can go through that way, because I want to experiment and try and see if I can like get them in there. And secondly, it really frustrates me that comics and books aren't treated the same, even though slightly different media, but they are their delivery method is the same. Like they're on pieces of paper or they're digital. I guess that's my kind of my rant. So I like anything where I don't like monopolies, because monopolies only benefit the one company, and there's no competition, there's no alternative. So whatever happens, whatever gets set, it's their way or the highway, literally. And that bothers me a lot. Any kind of monopoly bothers me, be it comics, be it like just any kind of monopoly. But yeah, that was my that's as pretty much as like up to date as you're going to get me saying anything. I wanted to try and keep that fairly in general. I think it's also the reason, and I can bring it back to books as well. That's the same reason why you'll see me going wide instead of like going to one distribution system and being exclusive to one company, because that baffles my mind in the way I see it, because I'm trying to get my comics, I'm trying to get my dad's novels distributed as wide as I can. I want lots of options everywhere, and therefore you have to be able to go anywhere, which means non-exclusive, which means everywhere. Anyway, let's see here. Is there anything else? I'm going to be saying let's see here a lot because I really didn't think this through before I started talking. And actually, I guess this is kind of a good place to end off, because I feel like I've kind of talked myself out for tonight. And these are how long my vlog updates usually are anyway. It's about this long. This seems long enough. And then next week who knows? Maybe next week I'll actually have like something written down. Maybe. Who am I kidding? I like the idea of that. We'll see it on the day that it actually happens. I'll hold up this big piece of paper and you'll just see me like reading off like this, or just hiding behind the piece of paper the whole entire time. So thank you for listening to me rant about book and comic distribution tonight. For those of you who are on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, I guess, if you can subscribe to the streaming. I'm not really sure how that works. I know that you can subscribe to the channel. I don't know how that works with the streaming aspect. Who knows? Does anybody really know? Probably somebody, just not me. Anyway, take care, everybody, and I will talk to you all again next week. Good night. Except for you, YouTube people. Yes, video forthwith.